some of the specific things in the op-ed. You know, the vice president talking about the fact that the second wave is sort of an overblown, media-driven panic. The reality is, if you look at what that really means in terms of second waves, it's worth pointing out that we're really never we haven't gotten out of the first wave yet. I mean, the idea of talking about the second wave is something that may not even be a reality here. We're not sure that we're going to get out of the first wave. We may have a series of spikes. Take a look at the United States versus Italy, for example. Where are we in terms of the overall infection rates versus what's happened in Italy? Italy gives you a better idea of what a sort of wave would look like. Okay, left is the United States, the right is Italy. We've plateaued a bit here. It's very likely these numbers are just going to go back up. It's sort of shifted where the case counts have been in this country, primarily in the Northeast before, now in the South and the West primarily. That isn't improving or creating sort of a wave. That is just actually shifting where case counts are in the country. Italy has had more of a true decline. We never got there in this country.
Yeah, and if you look at more broadly in Europe, similar, where you have that wave-like look there of it coming down. I want to drill down on another point you made in contradicting the vice president here, and that is on his contention that the only reason cases are going up, in effect, is because you're testing more. And just as an example, and this is one you cited, look at New York, which for a long time was the center of this. As testing has gone up in New York recently, in fact, cases have gone down. Testing in blue on the left, you can see them rising. Cases in right, in yellow, going down. Explain why the vice president is wrong saying that the cases are only going up because testing is going up.
Yeah, I mean, first of all, the data just doesn't bear that out. There are states around the country, including Oklahoma, by the way, which is obviously in the news a lot, where the cases have continued to go up significantly. 1/5 of the entire case count in Oklahoma happened over the last week. 1/5, 20%. At the same time, testing rates have actually gone down in that state. So that has nothing to do with testing. And that is the same story in many states around the country. The amount of testing going on does not account for the increase in the number of cases. Also, you look at hospitalizations. Hospitalizations have gone up in many of these places. That would not be because of increased testing. This is a counterintuitive point, but I think it's really important. As you increase testing, case counts should go down, not up. That's because you find people who are carrying the virus, you can isolate them, and you can prevent further spread. That's the whole point. It's not simply to just find more people and to increase the case counts, as it was suggested in that op-ed. It is to actually ultimately decrease the pace at which the infection is spreading. We're not doing it adequately. Yes, we've increased the amount of testing in this country, some 400,000 or 500,000 tests per day now. According to some of the data, you know, we need to be more closer to 5 million. So tenfold increase in testing. And I can just tell you personally, because I'm still, you know, talking to my colleagues at the hospital, working at the hospital, it is still very hard to get testing. You fill out these questionnaires. You may even say you have symptoms. You may say a doctor referred you for some reason, and you may still have a very hard time getting a test. That is not the way it should be 5.5 months into this. We don't have a vaccine. We don't have a medication. We've seen how testing can actually be really beneficial in other countries. 5.5 months into this, we are still not doing that. And instead, we're hearing discussion about the media is overblowing the panic. 120,000 people nearly have died. How are we overblowing the panic here and still not doing the fundamental things that need to be done?